Hey, well, good morning. Morning for me anyway. You know, the hummingbirds have long since gone now. It's been over a week probably since we've seen one. Been dropping down to, we've recorded a couple below 30 degree weather nights. A couple nights here this past weekend. Got down to 28, 29 degrees. Luckily nothing froze, but definitely fall is in the air. And, well, we find ourselves in a predicament again where we're still up on the hill over here, and we really want to get back down here before it gets too cold. Granted, we're only towards the end of September, and we know we got a little bit of time. Doesn't mean we have a whole lot. So we're really trying to push, get this culvert in here. Not culvert, excuse me. We're digging this trench to put in our lines for water and power. And if we can get this buried before, well, my goal will be to get it buried today, but it's supposed to be raining tomorrow, and we're supposed to maybe get some rain, which would be nice. We haven't seen rain now in, well, since the beginning of June. And so it's extremely dry, but we've been able to get a lot of work done. Our well is doing okay, but we know a lot of people around the area are not doing so well, so we do need the rain. I started to dig the second trench, and right when I got started I ran into that big rock right there, pretty much in the way, so I might have to move it, but managed to get the rest of it done. I'm about 36 feet. All right. Well, I got my ditch dug, or my trench, whatever you want to call it. Came out pretty good. I got to level it out a little bit where I couldn't quite level it with the bucket. And I'm going to be down about 3+ feet, a little over 3 feet. I do have to make a small adjustment on this end, as I mentioned before, for the rock, but I don't foresee it being a big problem. Basically, we're going to be running 2 3-inch PVC conduits with direct burial, water, PEX, and probably DC cable. So I think we're going to be fine. We know this ground probably gets pretty wet, so that's why we're putting it in casing anyway, and we're going to finish a trench next spring. But for right now, start leveling this out a little bit. I brought down the rock screen, the bare ironworks rock screen. I'm going to try, instead of making some sand out back, I'll try and screen what I need here to get a good bed down for my conduit. This is pretty sandy as it is, so it's a pretty nice bed down here. Once we take out some of these rocks, we're off to a good start. Well, we got down to 28 degrees here last night, and assuming everything's accurate and reading properly, but either way, it was down to about freezing. I didn't see a frost this morning, but it was definitely cold enough for the furnace to be running quite a bit. Just a sign of things to come. But we got another beautiful day here. Should be using my shovel. Yeah, this is going to work out good.
I've looked the devil square in his face, been a brother, a rebel, been scared, been brave. I do all I can take my chances and cash them all in. If I've got any left after where all I've been, I chose this life and I'd choose it again. Father, forgive me for all of these sins. We pray to heaven and we fight like hell. There ain't no one to save us but God and ourselves. Till they call me on back or they bid me farewell, I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell. God, if you see me, I'm down to a breath, but they haven't beat me until I've got nothing left. Yeah, and I've seen enough evil to test all my faith. Been held to the fire and walked in the flames. Call me a sinner or call me a saint, but I'm all out of mercy and all out of grace. We pray to heaven and we fight like hell. There ain't no one to save us but God and ourselves. Till they call me on back or they bid me farewell, I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell. Till they call me on back or they bid me farewell, I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell. I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell.
All right. So right now I'm just trying to figure out where the two pipes need to go. So, okay. Get the trench finished. Look at this. Hornet's still hanging around. And now I'm just trying to, I got to reorient this particular tube, or both of them actually. There's two of them going here. But unfortunately, I got a rock in the way and I don't want to, there's no way to get it out. Well, there would be, but I'm not dealing with it. So I think if we just slide everything up a little bit, hopefully it won't land on one of the floor joists inside the container under the floor. Otherwise, I'd have to cut it out, which wouldn't be a big deal, but see if we can avoid that and try to get it in the right place. It's hard to know because I took my measurements inside and there's no way to really tell you exactly where. So.
You want me to go get the measurements?
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh.
No, the measurements inside of the container on the floor where these have to line up.
Yeah.
Inside. All right, so it was 162 and a half and 122. Let's see. Look at that, huh? Pretty freaking close. Right there. Wow, right on the edge. All right, I think I'm finally ready. Try and get this done here. I think I've got it figured out. I'm new at this, so this is definitely not a how-to. This is more a can I get this done, figured out kind of video. But I think I have it figured out. I'm going to lay 40 feet, 2 lines, and one's going to be for the water, which is going to be a direct burial PEX. So each thing that's going to be direct burial is really kind of twice in a row because you've got the conduit here. But so yeah, if we can get I'm going to start over at this end here, and I'm going to end up pushing everything as I go that way. If I start over there at this end, I will end up just moving everything every time I go and connect another piece. So I'll start over here, work my way that way, make sure everything's the right length, in the right position, make my final connection over on that end, and hopefully it comes out right. Obviously, as I keep saying, the important part is making sure that we have everything lined up over on this end for where the container's gonna end up going. I had to make a modification because of a big rock that I got over here, which isn't a big deal. It's just I have to avoid a couple of I-beams on the floor inside the container over here. And basically what I want to be able to do is remove 2 panels of wood in the floor in the corner right here on this container when we get ready to move it. And then we'll move it onto the slab, and these pipes will drop right over those 2 spaces where we remove the panels, and then we can take our measurements, cut our holes, and everything should line up perfectly, hopefully. Worst case scenario, if I miss it, and I may end up having to come in and cut one of the floor joists, which is a steel I-beam basically, to make something fit, because I got to put 2 pipes over here, one for water, one for electric, I keep saying, and it's a pretty tight, it's like 14.5 inches between the I-beams, which are 2 inches, so makes it pretty tight. So I've been taking a lot of measurements and remeasurements and trying to hopefully make it right so I don't have to come back and make some major changes later on. So I'm gonna get started over at this end, and got a beautiful day. So it'd be nice to get this done today and finally start getting this buried a little bit. Nothing else. All right, I'm gonna start by gluing on a couple of couplers to this end. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I don't worry about that end. I don't care where that ends up. It's this one I'm worried about. So, all right, we're good. We'll do this one here. Once this one's in place, if I can line everything up and hold it in place, I know where it is, I can start to bury this end of it almost halfway. I think I'm going to have more than enough on that end once I know everything's where I want it. All right, let's do this one. All right, well, we've got this end of it pretty much figured out. I made a little template based on what I have inside the container, which I mentioned earlier. I know some dimensions here, so I'm pretty much right in the location I want to be. And I will zero it in once I get, I think what I'm going to do, I still got to connect the PVC over on this end here. I haven't done that end yet, but I'm just trying to figure out if I want to connect that in first before I bury it down on this end. I could bury it on this end, and that way I know it won't move at all and everything will be exactly where I want it. And then I could bury like a part of it so it won't move, and then go down on that end and finish connecting it, because I don't really care too much where that end comes up. Its general vicinity is good enough. It's just going to come up under the RV anyway. So if we could make this final connection, I may do that, and then just make my final adjustments over on this end here so that it's where I need it to be, and then I'll start covering it. All right, well, we've got our pipe in there. We've got it mostly glued. I've only got one section down on this end I still got to glue, but before I do that, I think what I'm going to do, because I've got the other end exactly where I want it for now. It's looking pretty good. Came out nice. My biggest concern obviously is this end, trying to make sure I get everything kind of really lined up perfectly so that when the container's in place, everything lines up exactly where I need it to. Of course, we still got to pour the pad here, so I've got a little bit of room to play around, but I really want to try and make sure it's as close as possible because I have a really tight space to work in with floor joists and metal and everything else all around. So I'm really happy with where this is. Everything's lining up. Everything's pretty straight, level. And basically, I think what I'm going to do at this point, before I go and start playing around with that end and moving everything, I think what I'll do is I'll start burying this end, and that'll hold everything in this side in place. And then I can go down, and I've just got them dry fitted down at this end now. I can just pop them off and glue them back on, and that'll be good. I'm not too concerned with where they pop up on this end because that'll be under the RV hopefully, so that'll be fine. If everything works out, we'll see how it comes out. But right now, I think I'm just going to start filling this in, and we got to remember to put our tape in here. But yeah, looking good so far. Been a lot of work, but it's coming out good. Okay, we're starting to fill in, starting to look good, and everything's lining up real nice. I'm pretty happy with everything. I got the rock screen over here, which is nice. I'm able to screen out some material and put in some sand, so I'm not knocking stuff around. Got my tape laid in here. I'm just going to do a little bit more here before I go back down to this end and disconnect the two I got to finish gluing on. I just want to block this end in, make sure it's not going to go anywhere before I start playing with anything else. But so far, I'm pretty happy with it. The way everything's coming out, looking good. And dump another load of sand on the other side. All right, well, I just found out my camera died, and I don't know how far I got. I got to go look and see how much video I got. But basically, just to show you, I got it covered up. We got all our pipes in place here. Water line in, water line out. Of course, this will be inside the container. Still got a little fill to put in here. Didn't want to get too close with the tractor. Same with the other side. A little material to screen, but other than that, looks like it came out good. Yeah, we're ready to go. Been a good project so far. Just have to get these forms set up, and we can get the containers on. Two more to do on that side. But this will be nice. We'll be able to move the camper over here, the RV over in this area here. Hopefully we'll be able to get the power and water run up, temporarily at least for the winter, from this location. And that'll just make life a lot nicer.